LeBron, let's start with your boy LeBron, man. You know how Jig, man. He always want to talk
He
about
lit
this
up.
dude.
That boy lit up like
Nah,
a Christmas
man.
tree.
I ain't do it. I ain't do it this time. It was them.
Yeah, man. The latest news with LeBron, the top three teams that appears that have the strongest, interest right now is the Heat, the Cavaliers, and the 76ers. And Shams also said that the 76ers has a strong possibility of LeBron coming to them, dog. I'm finna let me share my screen, show y'all what Shams was talking about right quick.
Turn it up.
Man, hold on.
Teams have a standing 100% believe all 10 of those teams have a standing offer for LeBron James. Now, I think you have to whittle that down though. And I do when I talk to teams around the league, when I do my research, the teams that continue to come up are Cleveland, Miami, Philadelphia after they got the Jalen Brown. Like Philadelphia was not in the picture. And I think that's why this is somewhat a true free agency for LeBron James because he didn't go into it with a calculation in mind, a plan in place, because you leave the Lakers, you don't necessarily know what your value is. There's not like a guaranteed max that he's walking into. There's not a guaranteed $20-30 million salary slot that you're walking into. So you have to be open-minded. So when the Sixers got Jalen Brown, I did some research and I found out within 24 hours, like he's taking their pitch really seriously. And so I look at it when I talk to teams now as kind of a hierarchy of Cleveland, Miami, Philadelphia, and then I think there's some teams on the periphery. Golden State is the team that, going into free agency was thought to be one of the leaders because.
Yeah, man. So what are y'all thoughts? And we've been talking about LeBron in pretty much every episode, man. Like, what y'all thoughts about the three teams that's in the strongest position to get LeBron?
Strong thoughts. First, Shams. I don't know what type of diet you're on, buddy, but you got to get some fiber in your diet. Look too light. Come on, Shams. Is that makeup? What you got going on, buddy? But as far as LeBron, I honestly think that new emerge as the 76ers in the league is a good look for him. We've quietly seen the Spurs kind of bag out, maybe Minnesota kind of bag out. We're hearing strong talks of Cleveland. We're hearing strong talks of Miami. But we see that the 76ers are interested now. It makes more sense. It's a better fit for LeBron. I think that is a team that could emerge, but I don't know what Brian got going on. Is it smoke and mirrors? Is this something to divert us from what he really trying to do? I think Brian kind of having fun with this. Brian enjoying this. Like Sham said, this is the first time that he has been in a free agency and has never had a plan. It isn't a strategic plan to land a team. So I think personally it's going to shock us, but it ain't going to shock us too much. Maybe we see him go back to Miami. Maybe we see him go back to Cleveland. But if he comes down and goes to the 76ers, give me a ticket and I'm catching the game.
What you think, Jim?
I agree. I don't want to see him go to the Warriors. I think that would just be that. No, we don't want to see that.
Yeah, we all know that.
Yeah, we don't want to see that. I ain't gonna lie. And I don't. Maybe only Golden State fans want to see something like that, and I don't even think they want to see it. Honestly, the 76ers, I know the Spurs, they saying the talks haven't, but anybody that's turning down a talk with LeBron James is crazy at this point. I think the best fit I think the team he'd be the best fit on would be the San Antonio Spurs because they are lacking enough ball handlers. Stephon Castle's definitely not a ball handler. We've seen it. Dylan Harper is. De'Aaron Fox is shaky at best. And the Spurs fan base is about ready to send him on his way. So with that being said, I think the Spurs would make the most sense because they need an additional ball handler. I don't know how much LeBron wants to handle the ball, but the key thing is he doesn't always have to handle the ball. But in clutch key moments, I believe he'll be the key playmaker and shot maker that they need. The 76ers really don't need that. I think what LeBron is going to be asked to do in the 76ers doesn't really fit him. He doesn't need to be a playmaker. You got that in Maxey. You definitely got that in Jalen Brown and Maxey. They really aren't going to need him to fit that role. You got a person in Embiid who can also, demand the ball in tight situations. He doesn't always make the right read. I think LeBron can help school him and kind of guide those guys, but I just think his role would be diminished on a team like that. So I kind of am disappointed if he doesn't go to the Spurs. I think they need him the most, and I think that'd be the great fit and his best chance of winning a championship. But the 76ers wouldn't be a bad look at all. But Cleveland, no, I don't see them winning with James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. That's just not it. There's no defense there. And I think James Harden and LeBron do too much of the same things. I also don't believe in James Harden as a true point guard. I don't feel like he's a point guard at all. So I just feel like him and Donovan Mitchell as a backcourt would be a terrible look. Don't see it.
I understand what you're saying. I'm not a big James Harden fan. Hold up. Got to turn my mic on. I don't think nobody heard me. I understand what you're saying. I'm not a big James Harden fan myself. He plays one way, and he doesn't know how to play without the ball. He has to have the ball in his hand. So it would be different seeing LeBron with a James Harden led team with Donovan Mitchell, because all of them have to have the ball in their hands to be effective. Only person that can really play without the ball is LeBron. Maybe I think Donovan Mitchell also can, but that would be tough. But I feel like that would be the best spot of his needs, because they need somebody with that much IQ and that much control of the game. And he's not a James Harden who goes to dribble to air out the ball. And I feel like the way that James Harden is handling this situation, because he still haven't re-signed with the Cavaliers, even though he's going to. He's waiting on what LeBron going to do. So I feel like if he knows what it takes and what LeBron brings to the table and let LeBron control the team, then I feel like that would be the best spot for him. And plus, you going home, and this whole offseason, he's been spending time even a lot, or Akron, wherever he be at. So I feel like a lot of signs point to the Cleveland Cavaliers of signing him, but the 76ers does make a great story. Like, definitely have a big hole at the 4 position with the 76ers. But like Tim said, though, it go based on what Joel Embiid do. And then I guess they got Jaylen Brown as a defender, and VJ Edge coming as a great defender, but they still not going to have a bench. So that starting 5 really got to show up and show out. But I think, like Sham said, number one, in my opinion, is the Cavaliers. The best case scenario for LeBron, I agree with Jig, is San Antonio, but I don't know if San Antonio not even being talked about at the moment. But I got Cavaliers. I have the Heat. The Heat definitely need LeBron. Like, they don't have no ball handler that you can trust. But LeBron will fit well there. They just wouldn't have a lot around them. But Cavaliers, I have Heat, and I have the 76ers. So, yeah.
That's my problem with the Heat. I don't think they would have to run LeBron too long. You're looking at about 35 to 40 minutes of him being on the court. I think that's too long for his age. That's why I don't think the Heat would be a good squad. They need to rebuild more. Maybe if they had more pieces in place, that'll be a better squad for LeBron. But let's bring the 76ers back into the fold. They have those pieces in place with VJ Edgecombe, with now Jaylen Brown, with Embiid, plus a couple role players. Yeah, they need to take their bench up, like Jig said, to be contenders and maybe take it to the lengths of, we talking finals, we talking second round in the playoffs. But that's a start. Bringing LeBron to that squad, getting them calibrated, getting them ready for a playoff run, maybe a finals run would just be a good look. I think that's what we all love to see. But we've seen how the trade's gone thus far. They don't always go as planned or as the fans like them to go. So who knows where this guy's going to go, guys.